Welcome everyone to celebrating 30 plus years of Christian metal. I'm on the phone with David Underwood of Christian hard rock metal band Eden's Way. And I'm going to ask him a few questions about his band and what goes on in his regular life with and without the band. How are you doing tonight, David?
I'm doing great, Paul. How about you?
Doing just fine. Let's start off with what is the meaning behind the band name Eden's Way?
Well, I got that name years ago when I started the band up. I was praying and wondering, God, what would I call this band? I thought of several names, from warrior to saint to, just names like that, and it just didn't sit well with me. And one day I was thinking, God, you got to give me something. And it hit me about the Garden of Eden. When he made the Garden of Eden, he wanted that to be pure because he had made it himself. And he wanted it to be sinless. Well, of course, we're humans and we do have sin and we do sin, and it's just part of waking up every day. It's here on the earth whether we like it or not. And of course there was in the Garden of Eden sin as well. But he wanted us to turn away from sin when he made the Garden of Eden. And just to put it all in a nutshell, Eden's Way, God's way. That's, Eden, the Garden of Eden was made to be beautiful and sinless, and that's how he would like for us to live, and that's how this band is. We try to live, a sinless life. Of course, we're human, but we just want to represent God in every way possible, and that's how we come up with the name Eden's Way.
That's great. So, how would you describe the band's sound overall? Like, what kind of influences contribute to your style of music?
Well, if you're going Christian, you have Petra, White Cross, bands like that. If you're going
White Cross.
Yeah, White Cross, yeah. And if you're going to secular music, man, our style ranges from anything from, a Rainbow to a Deep Purple sound to, Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Van Halen. It could just keep going. We don't really sound like some particular band. We are out there all over, so we're just what they call a classic band. A lot of people call us an 80s band, but really it's more classic than it is anything.
So being an underground band, you kind of have to switch on and off between recording and touring. And plus, some of you guys also have families. So where does the balance come between both of those facets of life?
It gets rough. Not going to lie. Anybody out there that is in a band like us, that travels, holds jobs down, have family, it gets rough. You just gotta have an equal balance. You gotta keep people happy at home, but you also gotta know the real and true reason why you're out there doing it for.
So I know it's been a little while since Eden's Way has released anything. What kind of new music is currently in the works, and is there a release date scheduled in the near future?
Yeah, we're working on an album right now, and we've already released a few songs from that album, and you're hearing one right now in the background. And but we're finishing it up, and we ought to have it out by, I want to say, late spring. And I'm really excited about the album. I know all the guys in the band are too. It's different. When I say different, it's just what we do. It's just a rock album, all based around God, and we're just ready to get out there, expose it, and say, hey, we're here, we're back. This is a new album, and here you go.
Now, just a quick follow-up to that. Is it going to be heavier or as heavy as the last album you released?
It'll probably be about the same. I do think that our writing has expanded. When I say expanded, it's gotten more. Instead of going kind of one direction down the classic rock sound, it all is still classic rock, but there's so many out there. We got a song that sounds like AC/DC, and we've got a song that sounds like a Van Halen song on this one, and I mean that's how it's been in the past. But this is more. We're more in depth on this one. We're really paying attention to a lot of the details on this album here.
That's pretty cool. So, of the songs that the band has recorded so far, is there one in particular that sticks out, that speaks to any of the members on a personal level? And which one would it be?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Our bass player, Richard Roberts. He one of his songs that really speaks a lot to his heart is a song called Messiah, and we wrote that on our first album, and then we remade it a few albums later. And you know, he can, if you ever get a chance to talk to him, I'm sure he would love to talk about it. A few years ago, his brother, you know, he committed suicide, and I guess he was looking for comfort. And man, I'm kind of getting a little misty-eyed talking about it, but he that song, he was, I guess he was listening to the CD or something, and that song come on the radio, the CD player, and it ministered to him. And I'm almost 100% sure he said that they played it at his funeral, at his brother's funeral, and that song just ministered to him. And it touched him, and to this day, that's probably one of his favorite songs.
So I'm sure that you have some fans because you've played quite a few shows already. So what kind of feedback have you received from those fans? Have any of them come up to you afterwards and say like your music has really struck a chord with me? I feel motivated to be more dedicated to serving God 24/7 now. Anything like that?
Well, actually, a lot of people come up to us going they couldn't believe that this kind of music was still out there. And I don't mean that as a joke toward us. This kind of music, there's not a lot of bands out there that play the style that we play. They're, playing the I use the word Creed style music or the Screamo music or, however you want to classify that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's just really no band out there that plays the style that we play. And there's people out there that's hungry for this. And so when they hear us, they're just shocked that there's a band out there that still plays this kind of music. And we're